Well, Georgetown's very meaningful in my life and times and career, and also to my entire family. And so the business school, the BarkTank, the venture lab, all of that just continues to have deeper and deeper ties to what we do here at Monumental and my philanthropy with the family. Now, Georgetown's special and different because it really does focus on critical thinking and connecting the dots, which is really what entrepreneurs have to be able to do. Every single day, I'm living a liberal arts life. And that's what the business school and the entrepreneurial programs really are. How do we mentor you for you to look at the world critically and be able to leave it better than you found it? And I think having that growth mindset is really important.
All right. Welcome to our 2024-25 BarkTank here at Georgetown University. Thank you to Ted and Zach Leonsis' family. As you saw there, we've our reason for being here. We appreciate their support in making this happen. I have the best job in the world. My name is Jeff Reed. I get to run the entrepreneurship program here at Georgetown University. We have an amazing entrepreneurship initiative. You'll learn more about it as we go through the evening from our entrepreneurs who will present, as well as some other things we'll share along the way. But our program at Georgetown, we really pride ourselves not just on producing entrepreneurs, but producing entrepreneurs for the common good. Deep within the values of Georgetown University, we think making the world better is a really important thing that everyone should strive for. And what better way to do that than as an entrepreneur? The entrepreneurs you'll see here tonight, and so many that have come through our program and will in the future come through our program, they're solving an important problem in the world. They're making the world better. They're creating value, creating jobs, and it's just an amazing way to make the world better. So we know the world is full of disruption. Changes happen. Don't be a victim of disruption. Figure out how to take advantage of disruption. Disruption creates opportunities, and that's what entrepreneurs are all about. So our program here is all about entrepreneurship for the common good. So that's my kickoff here. The next thing I get to do is introduce your MC for the evening, and she's going to take you through the rest of the show. Double Hoya graduate, 2016, 2017, three-time captain of the Georgetown women's soccer team, took that team to their first Final Four, fighting through 2 different ACL tears in 10 months. Later, having a business career, working for a startup that pitched in this competition many years ago. Some of you might remember Super Coffee from their days. She was an employee there. Now she is the founder of her own company. She has taken that leadership and resilience that she learned through her years at Georgetown and working in other places. She's now created a business called Superhero, which focuses on athletic apparel specifically designed for women. She's a member of the Leonsis Venture Lab at Georgetown, an alum entrepreneur we're proud of. Please join me in welcoming your MC for the evening, Marina Paul.
Hello. Does that one work? Yeah? Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Marina Paul. How is everyone doing? Good? Defrosted, I hope. But no, I'm so honored to be here. Georgetown entrepreneurship means so much to me. It is ingrained in literally everything I've done since probably 2014 when I took my first venture, launching the venture class. And I'm so excited to celebrate the finest in entrepreneurship tonight and all these incredible finalists that we have here. So last year, I started my company. I dropped out of consulting. I moved here, knew I needed to build it out of Georgetown entrepreneurship because of its storied success, especially having experienced it with Super Coffee. I watched BarkTank. I was sitting in the stands, and I came down to Jeff Reed after, and I said, Jeff, I'm Marina. I worked for Super Coffee. I really need your help, and can I just have a home here in some capacity? They introduced me to the Venture Lab, and it completely transformed my business in just the first year alone. Not too long ago, I was just a little lawn fairy up there on the hilltop, our grass hilltop, as we call it. And we had tremendous success, right? We built Georgetown Soccer into one of the best programs now in the country. but I was struggling with something so deep inside. For someone who seemed so fit for their sport, I felt inside that I was not fit at all for my sport. And so much of a cause of that was the sportswear that I was wearing. In every way, it fit wrong and incorrect. And in every way, I saw all of my teammates try to manipulate their bodies just so they could feel okay and look good. And for me, it almost took me out of soccer. So that is why I'm so passionate about what we are building. And I think all of you can resonate with the fact when you're getting ready for a big presentation or a sporting event and you put on your blazer, your dress, your pants, and it just doesn't fit right. And that just emotional, physical, psychological drain that you get, that is what's happening to female athletes across the country every time they step on the field. We just completed our survey with the University of Notre Dame, which former Big East rival, but they're not in the Big East anymore, so it's fine. We found that a third of elite college female athletes at the Division I level feel that their sportswear disrupts their performance and their health while they're playing. It is my mission at Superhero to give female athletes the freedom to perform everywhere so that none ever leave their sport because of their sportswear, but at the same time, it improves their performance and their health so they can be the best athletes possible. Now that, and so much of what you're gonna hear tonight, is all rooted in passion for solving a problem that these finalists experienced. Everything is personal to them or to someone they loved, and now they're fighting like hell to make it happen. And that is the core of Georgetown Entrepreneurship. So tonight, I want to set the stage for how phenomenal Georgetown Entrepreneurship is before we get into the finalists. In November 2024, so just a few months ago, Georgetown Entrepreneurship was named the 2024 NASDAQ Center of Entrepreneurial Excellence awardee. And basically what that means is they won the Heisman for entrepreneurship. And if you don't know what that means, and you don't read entrepreneurial journals, it just means they're the best at what they do. They support over 2,000 students annually and over 100 alumni. They've grown 30% every single year since 2017, which I think that's a pretty great business, might say so. And on top of that, they have produced some of the best companies that exist today. Now, some of those companies include, and it gives me chills to say this because they're probably ingrained in every one of our routines, but Sweet Green, Spindrift, Hinge, which I got a pretty cool boyfriend out of it, so I love that. Halo Top, Super Coffee, Bombas, I'm sure a lot of people here are wearing those socks. And while most of those companies were founded before the official inception of Georgetown Entrepreneurship in 2017, it is no secret that Georgetown University is a powerhouse for humans who create companies that change lives. So I want to congratulate Jeff Reed, Ben Zimmerman, Jacob Stiglitz, Aveline Argo, and the entire Georgetown Entrepreneurship leadership for their success the last 8 years. It is absolutely phenomenal. All right, and now we have another set of people to thank. As an athlete, I know how important your coaches are and how pivotal they are to your success. A lot of times they tell you exactly what you don't want to hear, but at the end of the day, they make you so much better. We had 16 coaches that helped prepare our 8 finalist teams tonight. These coaches are all phenomenal and successful entrepreneurs in their own right. So thank you to those coaches for cultivating these 8 finalist teams since this last November. So if any of these coaches are here tonight, I'd love for you to stand and let us give them a round of applause for helping our finalists deliver these phenomenal pitches. Oops. I got a D in my rehearsal last night because I forgot to change the slides. And now, thank you to our coaches. And now on to our next group of people I'd love to thank. It's my audience to my left. So these 7 judges are probably some of the most successful people that I have ever met. They're also the most willing to help. And these two things never happen together. They're actually the heroes that you want to meet. The coolest part about these judges is that every single one of them has been in this position before. Whether that is starting their first company by painting the dorm rooms of Georgetown and GW just to pay for summer rent, whether that is becoming the CEO of a company overnight after tragically losing their husband, of a multi-million-dollar company, if I might add, or whether that's solidifying DC as the sports city. All of these judges have been so generous with their time to Georgetown Entrepreneurship, and we are so grateful to have them here tonight. So the first judge I'd like to announce is Chris Saliza. He's a proud graduate of Georgetown College. He is a distinguished journalist and political analyst known for his expertise in breaking down the complexities of American politics. Chris has probably been busy lately. With a career spanning CNN and the Washington Post, he is celebrated for his ability to make politics engaging and accessible for audiences. Chris, welcome. The second judge tonight is Deb Majoris. Deb is a trailblazing legal executive and recently retired as a chief legal officer of Procter & Gamble, where she oversaw global legal, government relations, and corporate governance functions for one of the world's most recognizable brands. I'm sure every single one of us is wearing a Procter & Gamble product right now. A former chair of the Federal Trade Commission, she is a leading authority on competition law, consumer protection, and corporate ethics, bringing decades of experience at the intersection of law, business, and public policy. Georgetown's 3 favorite words. Deb, welcome. And Jeff Cole. Jeff is the co-founder and chief strategy officer of Hidden Level, a cutting-edge company specializing in advanced aerospace monitoring and drone detection technology. Also probably busy lately, Jeff. With a background in engineering and innovation, Jeff is driving the development of scalable solutions to enhance safety and security in an increasingly drone-centric world. His leadership reflects a deep commitment to leveraging technology for smarter and safer infrastructure. Jeff, welcome. Michael Prager. He is a proud graduate of the undergraduate program here at the McDonough School of Business, also responsible for painting your dorm room. I know, you shouldn't have told me that at lunch. He is a co-founder and CEO of AvidXchange, a leading innovator in financial technology. Under his leadership, AvidXchange has become a driving force in automating accounts payable for businesses across the country. Michael, welcome. Michelle Freeman, who is a proud parent of a Hoya. She is an accomplished business leader, philanthropist, the CEO of the Carl M. Freeman Companies, minority owner in Monumental Sports and Entertainment, and most importantly, minority owner in the Washington Spirit women's soccer team. She is a passionate advocate for community development and entrepreneurship, and she has dedicated her career to creating opportunities and uplifting others through her work in philanthropy. Michelle, welcome. And lastly, our 2 founders of BarkTank. Ted Leonsis is a Georgetown alumnus himself and a proud parent to 2 Hoyas. He is passionate about innovation and community impact, making him a prominent leader in sports media and technology. He's a visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and owner of Monumental Sports Entertainment, which includes the Washington Capitals, Wizards, and most importantly, the Mystics. And lastly, Zach Leonsis, who is a proud graduate of the MBA program here at the McDonough School of Business. He is a forward-thinking executive and the president of media and new enterprises at Monumental Sports and Entertainment, With a focus on digital transformation, he leads efforts to innovate sports media, streaming, and fan engagement. Zach, welcome. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. We are so honored to hear your feedback, to have you here, to make us all better. All right, here is the game plan for tonight. So we have 8 finalist teams. They're each going to come up here and pitch for 3 minutes. It's really quick. And then we pass it over to the judges for Q&A for 5 minutes. The judges will be scoring on 4 different criteria, which I'll get to next. And the clicker, which I will get to next. In between those, I'm going to be reading about some really cool things that are happening on the Hilltop where you can get involved more in entrepreneurship. Whether you're a student or an alumni, please take advantage of these opportunities. You know, I moved in with my parents at 28 to build my business, and then I moved here at 29 to really start it. It's never too late of a time, whether you're starting at 83 or you're starting at 22. Please join the crazy train of entrepreneurship. All right, and now on to our 4 criteria. 1, feasibility. This is the first criteria that, these finalists are gonna be judged on. What is the likelihood of this happening? Number 2, the team. Is this the team that's gonna actually get the job done? Number 3, the values. How much do they resonate with the Georgetown values that we all have ingrained now in our system? And number 4, what is the impact that this $30,000 first place award is going to have on their business? All right. We have one more. BarkTank stats. All right, and lastly, I'm gonna read some BarkTank stats that we have. So to show you guys the success of what this opportunity has drawn out, you can see on the screen some of this amazing success that these teams have had. Most notably, Margarita Womack of Maspanadas has raised over $2.5 million. She's hired over 100 people and has her frozen empanadas in stores nationally. So if you see them at the grocery store, buy them. It seriously helps every entrepreneur. Other standouts include Adlumen, founded by Robert Johnston, who pitched at BarkTank 7 years ago. Robert was just acquired for $250 million this last fall, which is awesome. These and many of the other BarkTank companies, whether they have pivoted, whether they have exited, have had tremendous success, and whether they're still building. So please, when I ask, support these finalists. These could be the next $250 million brands that you can support. All right, and before we get to pitch number 1, there's one action that I have for everyone in the audience tonight. As I just mentioned, your support of them means absolutely everything. Entrepreneurship is probably one of the hardest things that you can do. It is harder than winning a national championship, believe me. You feel like 99% of the time, everything about it says don't do it. There's so much risk involved. There's so much failure. And yet we still wake up and do it anyway. And once we start to not quit and we just get a little bit better, then all of a sudden it starts to work. And then you fail again, and then it starts to work again. It doesn't really make any sense. But what all of these finalists have in common is their relentless drive to solve a problem that they care so deeply about, and that's gonna have a lasting impact on every single life. And now, I am so excited to introduce our first finalist, Clarifia.
Wait. Oh, it works. Perfect. Nice. Hi, everyone. Everyone doing well? Or clicker? Please.
How's everyone doing? Yeah!
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan. This is Vasco. And today, we're going to introduce you to our company, Clarifia, through our very good friend. You know him. We love him. It's Mario. All right. So who's Mario? You might know him as your friendly neighborhood plumber. But you know, that's not all he is. Mario is also a commodity trader that buys and sells actual goods like silver. But one thing he hates about his job, and you probably do too, it's paperwork. All day, every day. And with so many different stakeholders involved in the process, he's afraid he can't keep up. But Mario isn't the only one facing this issue. As of 2021, only 1.2% of the 45 million bills of lading were issued electronically. And the UN has set an objective to achieve paperless trading by 2030, highlighting how this is a problem that must be solved.
The solution? Clarifia, an all-in-one platform that creates regulatory documentation using AI and then shares it to all your stakeholders. So you might ask, how does this work? Well, let's use our friend Mario as an example. First, Mario would receive an order, let's say for 100 tons of silver. Then he would upload all the necessary data into Clarifia, which would create all the documents he needs and share it to all his stakeholders. It's that simple.
So, why us? Well, I've already started and exited a venture-backed startup and currently work as a risk analyst at JP Morgan. As for Vasco, you've guessed it, he's worked in commodity trading and currently works as an analyst in venture capital. So that gives us the perfect skills we need to succeed. And to be honest, beyond that, we're like Mario and Luigi. We live together, we're best friends, we work very well together, and we're committed to succeed. Moving on to values, well, Clarifia isn't just about efficiency, it's also about impact. As I said, the UN has an objective to achieve paperless trading by 2030. And if we can do that, we'd be saving 100 million sheets of paper annually and reducing carbon emissions by 440,000 metric tons every year, while also increasing transparency and reducing fraud.
So, how feasible is this? Well, we're technical. We've already built the tech stack ourselves. What's more is there's a lot of demand. There's over 45 million paper bills of lading, which is just one type of documentation. And digitizing just this one type of document could save $6.5 billion to these commodity trading companies. So, why are we here exactly? Well, we've collaborated with 15 commodity traders to build the best company we can. What's more is that there is a top 3 commodity trading company that wants us to incubate within their company.
So, we have the tech, we have the interest. Now all we need is you, and to be honest, also your money. So essentially, we've talked to this company. They love us, they love our idea, they want to work with us. Only thing is, they have some security concerns, which we think the $30,000 will help us build a blockchain stack and essentially allow us to incubate. So let's let Mario get back to plumbing, and you guys could help us level up. Thank you.
Clarifia, thank you so much for that. Now we turn over to judges for 5 minutes of Q&A.
So what have been the past barriers to digitizing in this area? Why hasn't it happened yet?
Sure. So why isn't this being done, right? You want to go ahead?
We did not plan this.
So there's several reasons. First of all, there's lots of fragmented systems when you're looking at commodity trading, right? You're not just working with commodity traders, you're also working with carriers and different stakeholders. So we think previous people that tried to tackle this didn't go through the route of incubating, which is what we're trying to do, which will give us all of the network effects we need, to be honest.
Another thing is we now have this tech available with AI to build something that's really simple and efficient that hasn't been done in the past.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Hey guys, good job.
Thank
If you're going to do this at scale, accuracy is really going to be important. You could be making, clerical errors at scale too.
Of course.
I believe you guys are great developers, but how do you battle test the system and ensure that it's working the right way for customers?
Yeah, so we want to create the documentation, but one question that we've had is also accuracy and liability. So we are going to make it the best we can. And I mean, we're good and our product is good and I have confidence in us. However, if there are some errors, we want to make sure that we tell the commodity traders that they need to review this paperwork before they submit it and before they submit it on the supply chain to, for example, their carriers.
So I have investments in an AI company, just went public, called Tempest. We raised $1 billion before
Congrats.
we had a good enough product and service. And the hospital's named after Verstandig family. He's got an AI company, and we've invested in it. And it's not a thing for the feeble because of who's playing in it and the amount of data that you have to bring in to inform. So, and it's such a regulated business. How are you going to build a bulletproof, goes through all of the regulatory systems, do deals with all of the companies that you've got to scrape and bring in all of that data? And $30,000, we give more. We've given a lot more here, but how are you going to get it done on the feasibility side?
Yeah, so The idea is we want to incubate within this top 3 company that will really, we hope, guide us through all of these regulations. And we want to work with them and make sure that we're fulfilling all of their needs directly.
So the money will be used for the prototype to prove to the company that you're worthy of being incubated. Okay.
So yeah, and the company has security concerns, which is our biggest thing right now. And we think that this $30,000 will, allow us to finish our blockchain stack, which will allow us to work with this company. But there is a lot of regulation, you're right, and we've had late nights with big headaches. It's a lot, for sure.
Yeah. What competitors are currently in the space, or what platforms are these commodity traders currently using?
So essentially what's being done is it's being done on paper. Yeah, so right now it is paper-based. That's the whole idea, right?
So you're not displacing an existing platform. They're really moving from paper to electronic.
Exactly, that's the whole idea.
Which is very surprising. They're mailing the bill of lading from one person to another. It's very archaic.
What's your business model here?
So we want to do a yearly subscription SaaS with these businesses directly. And just work as a software as a service.
Yeah, initially, obviously, when we're incubating, we'd want to just cover the costs, to be honest, while we're developing, and then hopefully we'd reach a point where you can roll out, and then it would be a yearly SaaS subscription.
What is the AI that you're sort of leaning on? What is it proprietary? How is that factored into what you're doing?
Yeah, so we're gonna use an open source. Right now, we actually have it on OpenAI, but there's security concerns with that.
Right.
So we're going to build it on open source. We're thinking Llama or Mistral.
And that's part of what you guys are saying, the money would be helpful to support?
So in part, but not exactly. If you want, we have a slide that explains
You doing
exactly.
the coding? You guys are
Yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
coding?
Is the slide here? Yeah, so essentially we want to build a blockchain stack. And to put it in simple terms, essentially, when the document is being created, it'll be created with its own fingerprint, right? To make sure that it's authentic, nothing can be changed, no fraud in that sense. And when we're distributing the documents through Clarifia, it would be that fingerprint that's being distributed to ensure that it's that exact document, right? It's authentic. And because it will be on a decentralized system, that's going to ensure that there's safety in that sense.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
A quick thing, thank you so much, Matt and Howard. You guys helped us so much. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much, team. That was a great first start. Okay, a quick little thing that you need to know about. Are you ready to turn your big ideas into reality? Join the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Club. Whether you're looking to brainstorm startup ideas at our next Ideathon, pitch your next big project at Open Pitch Mic Nights, or connect with like-minded innovators over dinners and workshops, we have you covered. Join the club or register for the Ideathon on February 11th at 6:30 in Fisher, up there. Don't miss a chance to learn about entrepreneurship while building skills that are critical for any job. All right, up next, please welcome pitch number 2, Gateway.
Hi, everyone. My name is Han Lin Ho, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Gateway. When the door of a Boeing 737 flew off midair last year, it shocked the nation. What it cost was Boeing's reputation and more than $10 billion. And one of the reasons cited was insufficient training. And it's not just a Boeing problem. Many leading companies today are facing the inability to implement effective training. And why is that? Well, creating just 1 hour of training costs up to $50,000 and more than 2 weeks to deliver them. And that's why we created Gateway, an AI-powered onboarding and training solution that cuts the time and cost it takes to implement effective training by up to 95%. We are already working with more than 40 companies that are paying us, including Virginia Tech, the National Institute of Aerospace, and the National Football Legend Incorporated. Our AI is trained with instructional design expertise, which makes it super easy for managers to create micro-learning modules. They can upload any existing documents, from videos, PDFs, to any voice memos, and Gateway would transform that into powerful micro-learning modules. And this increases knowledge retention by 75%, guided by our AI assistant. And it's already working. Customers are saying that they've been looking for us. And Raycom is one of our customers who said they were able to save more than $185,000 by implementing Gateway within the first 2 months. The best part is their employees love it. Raycom is one amongst many of our customers who are also using Gateway to onboard and train their customers. And this drives stickiness, contract expansion, as well as organic referral. We've already generated over $150,000 in ARR and 192% in year-over-year growth. And we are just getting started. Our team is consisted of female founders, immigrant founders, and my sister and I are 5-time founders. We've worked together our entire lives. Gateway's DNA is deeply rooted in Georgetown's core value. To care and educate the whole person is driven by our family values. Our parents are educators and entrepreneurs, and being raised in a family that were founded by hardworking immigrants is what we want to do today. And the $30,000 in BarkTank funding will fast-track our ability to launch our advanced AI features that will allow us to secure $450,000 in pipeline contracts today. Thank you so much, and please join us in supercharging onboarding and training.
So how do you get all these people to sign up? Do you actually have a product that they're using?
Yes. So we started this when I was a student at Georgetown, and that was my dream of coming to Georgetown to start this company and to get the guidance we need. And within the last 2 years, we were able to get early signups from companies who really were overlooked by the market. So these are companies that are in legacy industries. They are in energy, telecom, all these industries that have a mix of both technicians and knowledge workers at headquarters. And they have no great way to onboard this mix of employees effectively in a hybrid environment. Especially as COVID hit, they were really struggling. So it all started also because they were canceling internships where they couldn't onboard these young people. And so we went to the companies saying, hey, if you just allow us to create the onboarding and training experience for them, will you take the students? And they said yes. And that's how we got this started and snowballed into onboarding and training their corporate employees and now their customers as well.
Do they create the content and you provide the background? Or, I mean, the backbone? Is that how it works?
That's a great question. So they can go on the platform and create the training journey and experience and the content themselves. But oftentimes, because they are high growth and they're in legacy industries, they don't have this expertise of learning and development. And so they can outsource to us as their fraction and learning and development team to both provide the platform and the fractional expertise to create the content for them. And we just deliver them a really great draft that they approve, and it's a very fast process for them. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Yes, and for both instances, so whether they do it themselves or they hire us as their fractional L&D people, they provide the existing materials that they have already. So our AI is trained on proprietary industry expertise and content that we have had in the past. So we have thousands of content already that have been deployed and is working really well. And so they can use our platform to fast track that content creation on their own as well.
So are you guys connecting to, say, for a platform for a company that it's living, like a living library, for example, or how are you doing that? Are you using existing platforms that are already out there? Are you creating platform for this?
And just to clarify, do you mean the existing knowledge and documents that they have?
Yeah, I mean, I think some companies look to not just onboard somebody, but have that living, the same way you would pull the company handbook off the shelf back in the day. So are you doing that as well for these folks?
Yes, exactly. So a lot of these companies have the handbooks, have the materials, and also knowledge that lives in their head.
Right.
So what we do is we extract that knowledge, allow them to actually, one of the AI features that we want to build with the money is to integrate with their existing platform. So there's a connection that is continuously updating, and it becomes a living, breathing platform for them to do that.
Yeah.
Can you explain how the business model works? So is it a subscription, and then you're also selling services as your like new features? Like, how is that working?
Yeah, definitely. So there are two revenue streams for us. One is access to the platform, and that's a per user access. And that's recurring monthly or annually in a SaaS model, depending on how they want it. And as a fractional learning and development expert, we would charge an upfront one-time fee, and then also a recurring maintenance fee to keep updating the training and content for them.
And would you be doing more, it says onboarding and training, would you be doing, I mean, do you envision it as sort of a connection beyond just the person gets hired, like you're doing trainings throughout a person's career at that company?
Absolutely. We see employees and managers going back to the platform as they continue in their job to refer back to that information. And our AI chat assistant allow them to ask questions. So let's say a salesperson trying to find the right use case for that customer, they can go in and interact with the chat assistant and get personalized answers right away when they're trying to close that deal.
Yes, and one of the concerns that our customers come to us to have us solve for them is the ability to continuously push out information and new products that they're delivering. So our platform automatically ingests that, regenerate, let them approve it, and then that gets pushed out to everyone.
On the team slide, I saw it was 3 of you. You guys have 40 clients. You're talking about different services. You've got digital development needs. Who's the team behind you guys? Are you outsourcing things? Are you considering adding employees soon? What's the thinking on that?
Yeah, great question. I'll start and you can continue. So for our team, we are co-founders, and because of the ability to bootstrap so far, we were able to add a new team member, and that's Mia. She's a Hoya as well, and we met during the MBA program. And so for us, we do have a development team that we work with. But Mylin built our MVP, and that's what we were able to provide to our customers. And we are transitioning our customers now to our Gateway 2.0 platform. And would you like to add anything else?
Yes, and our amazing team is based in the Philippines. They actually work on Eastern time zone, which I'm like, you don't have to do that. But they're just so dedicated and just so excited about what we're doing. So we're just so excited to continue growing and then get more people involved like Mia as well.
How have you funded it to date?
We put in 4,000 of our own money, and from then, actually our first customer was a paying customer. And having founded previous startups that were successful and failed, we knew that it was very important for us to have the first customer being a paying customer and continue on with that so that we know what is the requirements that they need, what's the need that they have, instead of just building and then no one is using it. And so from then, we were able to just continue bootstrapping, and we were accepted in Techstars. And so that was really the first pre-seed investor that we had. And that gave us, by being in the program, gave us a lot of clarity. But still, we are continuing to bootstrap, and that's where we want to be.
All right, Gateway, thank you so much. That was awesome. Okay, this next commercial is for any alumni who are looking to get involved in Georgetown entrepreneurship. It's something I'm super passionate about and has become my second home. So being an entrepreneur can be incredibly lonely. Anybody here in this finalist group will tell you that. I started my company moving into my parents' house at 28, and having absolutely no community, building it out of my childhood bedroom. I moved back to Georgetown because I knew that I needed a community of support. Now that community has become the Georgetown Venture Lab. With a vibrant and eclectic crew of Georgetown entrepreneurs, experienced entrepreneurship coaches, private investor events, and dedicated partners, the Venture Lab's network of support is ready to help and start up to create the future. I'll just give you an example that happened last week. A massive distributor I was working on for 5 months told me no because they had just been acquired by a private equity firm, so things were reshuffling. I saw who was on the leadership team of that private equity firm. I saw that Jeff Fried was connected to him on LinkedIn, and I asked Jeff if I could have an intro to that person. We are now in conversations to have a contract with that distributor. Those are the little things that the Venture Lab can help you do just by getting access to so many people that you need to build your business. It's a dedicated workspace, conveniently located in downtown DC next to the Law Center at an awesome WeWork, and might I add, again, awesome people. If you are looking to invest in Hoya startups, like a really cool female athlete sportswear company, launched in 2019, GAIN, the Georgetown Angel Investment Network, already champions an active alumni roster, investor group, and robust deal flow. They are regularly seeking new investors, budding startups, and passionate volunteers. Their priority is to support the Georgetown startup ecosystem with an angel investing platform that engages and leverages the power of the diverse and global Georgetown alumni community. They're also hosting a pitch competition in early April, and the deadline for the application is February 10th. So if you're looking to pitch, get that in. All right, and now we have, for our pitch number 3, Hilda.
Okay, thank you. Cheers. Cheers, good. Thank you, man. Do you want me to take this? Yeah. Thanks. Excuse me. Where do I click here? Good evening. Everyone in this room tonight has a loved one who will grow old and need care. For me, that's Echi, my wife's grandpa. Echi came to this country as a Cuban exile in the 60s, and he's very important to us. So the least we could do after he was diagnosed with dementia was afford him the dignity of aging in the comfort of his own home. But for years, we struggled to find a reliable home care agency. 74 million seniors like Echi will need home care in the coming decades. Yet 3 in 4 will be turned away by agencies due to caregiver shortages. I spent over 100 hours interviewing 57 of these agencies, and all of them listed caregiver recruiting as their #1 pain point. It turns out of every 100 qualified applicants, only 35 show up for interviews. The reason is a slow manual recruiting process. Take, for example, this agency in Virginia, which I work for as a recruiter. It takes them 15 days or more just to screen and schedule candidates for interviews, forcing these candidates who live paycheck to paycheck to accept other jobs. My solution is to automate recruiting. Meet Hilda, the first AI recruiting assistant custom built for home care. The moment an application comes in, Hilda texts the applicant, checks credentials, and books an interview on the agency's calendar, all within minutes. For a SaaS subscription of just $199 per month, agencies get 50% more interviews at 10 times the speed, while saving 80 hours in tedious tasks and $1,800 in overhead costs. Competing recruiting solutions either don't leverage AI or aren't serving America's 50,000 home care agencies. Plus, the AI assistant is only a wedge into this $37 billion market. Our vision is to build a complete workforce solution for the elder care industry, handling everything from recruiting and onboarding to scheduling and payroll. My co-founder and I are childhood friends and former colleagues at Rebello, a venture-funded Silicon Valley startup. We're backed by a wonderful team of advisors who build companies for a living, and we've already secured our first pilot customers. We're now raising funds to launch our MVP and invest in sales. In the end, we found Etchi Reliable Home Care. 7 years ago, they sent this caregiver. She's been his guardian angel ever since, and her name is Hilda. Like Etchi, we all deserve the opportunity to age with dignity. Please join us in finding care for our loved ones, and let's make Georgetown proud.
And now on to our judges for Q&A.
I hope you'll be investing in this.
No problem.
I know what he said. I know, Ted, what he said. All of us have people who are going to need that home care. I was like, well, yeah, I mean, or we,
Some of us
or
are
we
those
might.
Tell us about yourself.
Sure. So I'm a double Hoya. So I was here as an undergrad in 2014 to 2017. I was originally at the SFS back then. I actually met my wife here at Georgetown as undergrads. And it was actually here on campus doing a fellowship for the Beck Center for Social Impact and Innovation that I really became passionate about entrepreneurship. Up until that point, I had a negative view of business. I thought business was only about making money. I was an SFS guy, so I wanted to make an impact on the world. And it was really this concept of entrepreneurship for the common good and using business as a vehicle to have an impact in the world that really made me passionate about it. And it's the reason I'm here today wanting to build this company.
Some of the data that you presented was compelling. Are there other industries that you could eventually scale into?
Yes.
Or is it, this is just going to be specific to elderly home care?
Yes, that's an excellent question. So the short answer is yes, definitely. The elder care industry is a massive industry. It's a massive market. So outside of home care, we can expand into other segments like skilled nursing facilities, adult daycare centers, assisted living communities. But even with beyond the elder care industry, basically any industry, any employer that relies on frontline workers with high turnover and they have to do high volume recruiting can benefit greatly from a tool like this. That being said, we're a mission-driven company. Our mission is genuinely to help seniors and help seniors find care. So that will have to be determined down the line. But yes, we have other opportunities.
Andre, can I ask a couple of questions? One is recruiting for healthcare, especially for vulnerable folks. Like when you think on the spectrum, it's babies and folks that aren't, can't care for themselves. Yeah. So what's built into the platform that makes sure that these folks are reliable, safe people, number one? Number two, when you think about 74 million people, aging, where is the demographic coming from? Think about what we're talking about as a nation around immigrants, right? There's so many of nursing and nursing care, healthcare workers are our immigrant population. How do you see that playing into this platform?
Both excellent questions. So I'll start with the first one, quality. Quality is incredibly important. It's a hard problem to solve because the reality is that there are two types of caregivers out there. There are the caregivers that are genuinely passionate and are really doing it because they feel a calling to do it. And there's other caregivers that are doing it for the pay. And so I think over time, as we build a supply of caregivers and as we reach critical mass once we are able to filter through enough candidates, the idea is to become better and better at identifying those genuinely good-hearted caregivers versus the other group. But at the end of the day, many agencies have told me this, the best way to assess the quality of a caregiver is to put them on the job. So that's also a big part of it. To your second, remind me your second question?
Was just where do you find this workforce?
Yeah. So about 30%. So there's 4 million caregivers in the United States. About 30% of them are immigrants. Here in the DMV area, the majority are coming from Ghana, Nigeria, and other countries in West Africa. So it is heavily immigrant population. Hilda's from Cuba. So we think that can be our superpower. It's an incredibly vulnerable population. They're working really hard to put food on the table for their families. So I think there's going to be opportunities to also potentially build other products for the caregiver community and for this immigrant community.
Hilda, thank you so much. All right, now we are going to do 2 giveaways, and they're pretty sweet. So is anyone a Caps fan here? Yeah? We would do a race if I could judge the rules, but we just have to do a giveaway. So before we move on to our next pitch, we are going to be giving away Caps tickets. So we are going to have our amazing Georgetown Entrepreneurship team. Oh, am I going too far? Sorry. Keep going. Gosh. We're having our amazing Georgetown Entrepreneurship team select a lucky winner for Caps tickets. Just stand up if I call your name, and then we will give you the Caps tickets after the event. Do we have the name? Oh, you did give me the list. Sorry. We didn't practice last night. Okay, the first winner is Annalise. Yeah, congrats. Okay, the second giveaway is a signed Ovechkin jersey. For those who don't know who Ovechkin is, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So he's one of the best at what he does. He's a Stanley Cup winner, a multi-time All-Star, and just phenomenal, and is currently second in number of goals and will likely be the first. All right. Jake, I'm gonna have to have help with your handwriting. Sorry. Jared Cone? Jared with a K. Sorry. All right. Thank you all. And now up to pitch number 4, Nixara.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We are Nixara, and we are building a new type of a communication system that can connect ground to satellites using laser beams. So what does that mean? Last year, one of my good friends was hiking Colorado and had a medical emergency. Now, without any cell service or internet connection, it took hours to get help, hours that could have been life or death. Now picture that happening to a military operator in the middle of Ukraine, relying on these critical connectivity systems for national security. Well, the truth is that connectivity affects everyone, whether it is accessing education in rural Zimbabwe or accessing emergency healthcare services in Alaska. And the systems that we rely on today are outdated. And these are the same systems that fundamentally have not changed in the past 70 years. Even after all of these planned upgrades, we won't be able to meet the growing demand. These systems look something like this. They are congested, they are hard to deploy, and they are not as secure. This is where we come in and disrupt this sector. The next generation of communication systems will be built on laser-based technology. And a single laser beam can connect ground stations to communication satellites, each beam of laser carrying 100 times more data. These systems are easier to deploy and 10 times cheaper to do so. So last year, I took the prototype for our blueprint through the National Science Foundation's ICORPS programming in Virginia and tested this out with potential customers, including SpaceX, Mynaric, Viasat, and even NASA. The number one customer complaint that all of these customers had was the cloud cover. Every time the beam tries to pass through the cloud cover in our atmosphere, it bounces back and the signal gets disrupted. This is the bottleneck for the widespread adoption of this technology. At Nexara, we are building a high-powered laser beam that can pierce through cloud cover and make sure that the signal is connected all the time. To enable this, I've assembled a team with nearly 100 years of combined experience in space and telecoms industry. My background as a two-time hard tech founder is in electrical and telecommunications engineering. Before coming over to Georgetown for my MBA, I used to work for Australia's largest telecoms provider and built 5G networks there. My co-founder, Ian, has similar experience in the US Navy. He is an expert in military communication systems, and with his previous experience as a lawyer, he knows how to navigate this highly regulated space. I also have an advisory board with technical advisors based out of Princeton, and we convinced executives from BAE, Maxar, Boeing, Honeywell, and Momentous Space to join us as well. So, since incorporating in November, we already have our first customer LOI order worth $250,000 from a drone provider in North Carolina called Anatra. We are building communication systems for them, and we are in conversations with one of the biggest defense providers as well. So, thank you. Today, we are hoping for $30,000 to file our initial patents and get some time to test our lasers in a private lab. But most importantly, space is really hard and really, really expensive. So we are hoping to get some introductions to VCs and angels to make this a reality. So this is just the beginning, and help us create the future of communications today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ian, the co-founder of Nexara.
Jeff, told you it was good. This is rough. There we go. This is right in my wheelhouse. I spent my career in national security. So as someone who also develops hardware, it costs a lot of money. Do you have any idea of what you need to get to the minimum viable product for this?
Yeah, so over the next year, we are raising $2 million, and we need the $30K to essentially file that patent and test our initial lasers, because the lead investors won't invest until they've seen the patent, and that's why we're here today. And the $2 million gets us to the lasers, and then over 2026, we're going to do another raise of $5 million. And we're hoping that by 2026, we get our first defense contract and start deploying these.
But before we do that, the main reason we're here today at BarkTank is because in order to secure seed funding and show progress, we need to do some science and actually construct a prototype device that we can show to investors.
Yeah.
Is it safe to assume that you're not trying to build actual satellites? You're just focused
Yeah.
on the piece of equipment that'll be attached to a satellite that somebody else will launch, or are you trying to do the entire ecosystem?
You're absolutely right. It's the first part. We're building a piece of hardware that will sit on top of the satellite infrastructures. We are not building the satellite itself.
Makes sense. So as a follow-up, that's a piece of hardware. How does it change, or does it have any impact on the actual software that's running in existing ground bases or whatnot who can receive similar kind of telecommunications?
So we work in conjunction with the existing infrastructure. So our goal is, if you think about the internet in space, we are the modems for that internet. So we are essentially amplifying that signal and making sure that the signal is going through the cloud cover when it doesn't. So currently the Starlink signal doesn't go through cloud cover, and that's where it fails. So we would actually work in conjunction with a Kuiper from Blue Origin or Starlink and enable their signal.
Put another way on the software problem, When other satellites that transmit via radio waves encounter this problem with cloud cover right now, one solution they use is to try to send their signal to another satellite in the same network that's in orbit, that's not obstructed by clouds, and gets through to the ground station. The software piece handles that routing. Our idea would be if we enable these satellites so that each satellite is able to communicate through cloud cover without the need for the software routing, we can increase the total usability of all the satellites, increasing user bandwidth.
And you had Starlink up there. I mean, Elon's going to be spending a lot of time here now, and you've approached them. I mean, Jeff Bezos has his operation here right near Dulles Airport. I mean, are you talking to them about, we want to catch a ride with you, if you will, right? I mean, they certainly could be helping you to incubate, because that would be a real breakthrough for them.
You are absolutely right. One of the big things we are hoping for is the rideshare costs have enabled the launch costs to come down, and the unit economics make sense now. That's why this is possible now. And we haven't personally spoken to Elon yet, but we would love to. But yes.
If anyone from Blue Origin or Starlink happens to be watching the live stream, we do believe our product could be a significant enabling technology for your existing satellite systems.
And what about NASA?
So we spoke to NASA, and we spoke to them about a specific mission that they're launching. So the deal is that they launch these long-term missions that are in deep space for 30 plus years, and our technology on the ground for communication has already advanced in that time. So they try to enable the most high-tech component on board, so it will enable connectivity even when the connectivity systems on Earth have changed. So they're really after building laser components for their missions right now, and that's what a lot of the government SBIRs are being awarded. So we're hoping to raise some money, non-dilutive money, through those grants as well.
Where's the IP being generated right now? Is it all US based?
Yeah, it's all US based. That's one of our primary goals, is to leverage American dynamism, and the momentum that we've found in the past couple of years around this area has been spectacular. So we won't be moving outside the US at all.
Not a question, but advice. Get my contact from someone here. But you may not want a patent. You may want a trade secret instead.
Okay.
Because you're going to need a lot of money to defend it long term, and it will get copied quickly.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you so much.
I did fucking
All right, Nick Sara, thank you so much.
So-called lasers.
You all better be going to class. Okay. If you're ready to kickstart your career, which I'm sure most of you have 5 internships already, but if you want a 6th, you can spend your semester interning part-time for a startup or a high-growth company through Georgetown Startup Interns. When you're not at work, you'll be attending asynchronous in-depth skills workshops taught by outstanding entrepreneurs and inspirational guest speakers. If you're looking for a summer internship, check out GSI. GSI matches high-quality students with startups around the world for unique internship and cultural experience. The Georgetown Summer Launch Incubator, SLI, is a startup incubator program designed specifically for Georgetown students and current year graduates who want to launch a new venture. Do it on your college, university's dime. Many of our successful student-led ventures have participated in the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Summer Launch Incubator. Several have gone on to gain admission to other regional and national accelerators or receive other offers of investment and support. All right, now for pitch number 5, we have Uclipse.
Hello, hello. Hello. How's everyone doing? Yeah, how do I move this? Awesome. So please raise your hand if you wear glasses. Awesome. That's like half the room. So you're definitely going to relate to this problem. So when glasses wearers wear any kind of headgear, like headphones, helmets, etc., they experience 2 things: the glasses frames digging into the back of your ears and the side of your head, causing a lot of pain for prolonged periods of time. This is especially a big problem for gamers. So over the course of 2.5 years, I designed this product to Uclipse. Essentially, it's a clip-on pillow that's adjustable to all glasses frames, conforming, non-slip, and moisture wicking. Uclipse also has a utility patent on this technology as of a couple months ago. And when we're thinking about anyone that can use this product, it can be pilots, military personnel, gamers. But what I want to hone in on is the SOM right there, the $1.2 billion market US gamers of glasses that we'll be attacking. So I actually interviewed 200 gamers and asked them, do you get pain from wearing glasses and headphones? 35% of them said that they do. If we're able to capture just 1% of this market, that should reach $12 million in revenue. And Uclipse, it costs $2, $6 shipping, and sells for $20, giving us $60 or 60% gross profit with scalable unit economics. And why me? Well, I actually had this problem ever since I was in middle school. Started sketching it up in the back of class. And ever since then, I've gotten a lot of experience in startups and private equity. And now with the gaming market set to double by 2033, now is the perfect time to introduce it to the world. So Uclipse also is infused with Jesuit values. We provide equitable access and care for the whole person by providing relief to glasses wearers everywhere. And we're building inclusive communities, especially within our team, which spans the entire globe. So we have people from India, US, and Zimbabwe. So far, we've sold 510 units. We're optimizing our D2C channels by working with influencers and targeted ad spend, as well as exploring B2B partnerships. We're in conversations with Warby Parker and LensCrafters, approaching MOUs, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to Zach and Ted after this about Team Liquid. We plan to allocate 20,000 of our funds for D2C efforts and 10,000 for B2B partnerships. Thank you so much. Please join me in bringing glasses relief to millions of glasses wearers around the world. And we're also selling a bunch of product down here if you'd like to buy one. Thank you. Huh?
Do you have the product with you? Can you show us? You're wearing it.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, this is what we were talking about.
This was worth it. Yeah, thank you.
What's the invention? I mean, what's the magic in the product that allowed you to get a patent?
Yeah, so I'll try to explain it as simply as I can. Think of it like a sandwich, right? In the middle of the sandwich is anti-slip material that's very thin and flexible, and there's Velcro on each side of the cushion. So what happens is when you put your glasses frames on top of the product, you close it up like a sandwich, and the Velcro seals the glasses frames until it hits the anti-slip material that makes it non-slip. So it's adjustable to all glasses frames, and no matter what, it'll stick to your frames.
By the way, I'm not a gamer, but I play golf, and my golf visor presses down onto my glasses. So there may be another use case here.
Oh, yeah.
And where are you making them?
China. And that's where it's drop ship to for $6, but we're working on.
What's the tariff going to be?
We're not concerned about that right now. It's drop ships. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Where do you, how do you distribute them? I mean, like, let's say I wanted to get them today.
Yeah. So we're just selling off our e-commerce site right now. Currently, we're reaching out to influencers, micro-influencers, UGC creators, running Google ads, and creating content. So users directly buy it from our e-commerce store, and it ships directly to them within a week. We're also exploring B2B opportunities, and generally cold email and cold DM hasn't worked, so starting to go to conferences, first one next month.
I know you said this, but what is the cost? Can you just, like, how much it costs to make, and then what you're charging and shipping and all that?
It costs $2 per unit to make, sells for $20. $6 is for the shipping, so 60% gross margins.
Got it, thank you.
To Chris's point, you want to get into like Warby Parkers and even CVS stores, convenience stores and whatnot. Do you know much about those markets? Do you know how to break in there, how to get shelf space, things like that?
Learning every day. I know I'm trying to focus on D2C traction first because that will allow us to pursue further B2B opportunities. But it hasn't been, my background is generally within SaaS and, private equity. But, learning more every day, and I'm sure I'll be able to learn a lot from you all and, other mentors down the way. But yeah, it's a process.
Who's on your team? Tell us about your team.
Yeah. Yeah, so generally we've been so fortunate to have a lot of people want to join the team based on a commission basis or a small stipend, generally just because they believe in the product and the company. So we have a number of different growth interns that are focused on a number of different projects, from grassroots marketing to also reaching out to and engaging with influencers to propose an affiliate commission with them and try to keep them on for the long term. We're also trying to incorporate artificial intelligence, mainly on the content creation side, but also looking into ways how to use it for our operations. We're putting out our product on Amazon within the next few days, and we have an intern focused on content creation entirely, and a COO to help make sure I'm making the right decisions.
I know you mentioned the patent. Is that a provisional patent?
Utility. I filed for it 4.5 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So an international then as well?
No, sir, just United States.
Okay, just. Right.
Are there any other products that are coming at the same problem that you're trying to address?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked. So generally, the way people solve this problem is with unorthodox solutions. They stretch and modify their headphones, cut gaps into their headphones, things like that. There are products out in the gaming market by big companies like Gunner, Turtle Beach, Razer, and what they've done is they've created glasses-friendly headsets. They're priced at $200, and essentially they have glasses relief systems that are just incisions on the inside of the cushions, so it doesn't press on your ears and doesn't press on your glasses frames. Now, the fact that there is competition out there, it validates that this is a market worth pursuing, and it also shows me that we have the potential to sell B2B to these companies to include it in their headphone packaging, as well as even a potential acquisition down the line.
Team Liquid has a huge audience. What's monthly?
I think they had like 400 million viewers last year. Yeah.
It's huge. And they have a huge merchandising business. I mean, maybe we could try with them. We outfit the players who wear glasses, see if they like it. But would we be able to make this into a business at Team Liquid? Could they sell these, for $20 and they keep, so that it's branded? They do hoodies, they do sunglasses, but it's huge. They have big deals with Disney, with Marvel, and the like. But if there's money in it where they just wear it and then they're selling it on their site, that might be a quick way to get into the market.
Yep, let's do it.
I think that's what.
Thank you.
I think that's what Dr. Dre did with Beats. Right?
Oh.
I just said I think that's what Dr. Dre did with Beats.
Okay.
Right?
All right, there's a very exciting event coming up on Friday, February 21st. It is the Venture in the Capital Summit. It's Georgetown's third annual student-led conference exploring the intersection of venture capital, entrepreneurship, and public policy. Meet with and learn from distinguished Georgetown alumni and industry experts as they share their invaluable insights and experiences with the Georgetown community. This event is open to all members of the Georgetown community and will be held right here in Lorfink. Fellow Hoya, Kara Swisher, and Mayor Muriel Bowser will be speaking, as well as C-suite individuals from Sequoia, JP Morgan, Y Combinator, among many more. If you are interested in public policy and venture capital, then you definitely have to be at this event. All right, next up for pitch number 6, Provision Surgical.
My name is Joyce Wang. I'm an MD MBA student and the co-founder of Provision Surgical. So imagine you're a pilot in an airplane. Even with a clear view of the sky, you're more informed with tools and measurements. Why? Because precision matters. So you may have a loved one like a grandparent who needed a total knee replacement surgery, hoping to regain mobility and live pain-free. However, if a surgeon operates on 100 patients a year, 20 of them will be dissatisfied, as studies have shown. In TKA, you're trying to recreate the knee joint. Being off by just a few millimeters can create abnormal stress on the implants, leading to early implant failure and increasing the risks of revision surgeries. Nobody wants to be under the knife again. And don't forget the strain on families and health systems. And just like pilots, surgeons are more informed with real-time insights. It's challenging to translate 2D flat X-ray images into 3D spatial decisions in real time. This is where we come in. Provision Surgical is a surgical navigation software that leverages augmented reality headsets. And we provide surgeons with unique 3D models of each patient's leg from their CAT scans that are overlaid on top of the patient in real time. So this is what the surgeon sees in the headset. And you can see these little black dots that are the key anatomical landmarks that will help them determine the exact placement of the implant, which is the red model. No more guesswork in the operating room. So there are over 600,000 TKAs performed in the US alone, and that number is going to grow to over 800,000 by 2031. There is huge market potential, with over $3 billion in the global orthopedic navigation market and over $8 billion in the global surgical navigation market. Our technology can also extend into other specialties, like ankles and shoulders. In fact, within 1 year of founding our company, we've completed a prototype, have 3 provisional patents, and we're preparing for FDA pre-submission. Your support will help us advance our regulatory roadmap. The co-founding team includes myself and Abdullah, who has successfully brought several startup medical devices to market. We're also advised by fellowship-trained surgeons and medtech entrepreneur who you're familiar with. At Provision Surgical, we're proud to bring Cura Personalis into the operating room. Personalizing surgical care increases surgical precision, leading to better outcomes and cost reductions, serving surgeons, payers, health systems, and patients. So join us in transforming orthopedic surgery with augmented reality and empower patients to operate with greater confidence. Thank you.
You just come from work, is that?
Yes, I walked just a block.
Can you tell us a little bit about the business model?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we're operating like a SaaS model, essentially. So we're going to be an annual subscription fee and additionally have a volume-based case-based pricing. And recognizing the different demands of different healthcare settings, such as academic health centers, which is very different from an ASC who's looking for higher cost effectiveness. We have different price points that will tailor to the needs of each healthcare setting.
Have you thought about talking to any of the insurance companies about how this could reduce malpractice costs?
That's a great question. So the reimbursement is definitely a big aspect of it, considering that most of the patients who receive TKA is the elderly population. So ultimately, Medicare and understanding the payer aspect would be really important. So that's definitely down the pipeline for what we want to consider. But ultimately, we're starting initially with hospital systems because we believe our technology can reduce the need for revision surgeries, which is a huge cost to hospital systems and payers as well.
This is a semi-dumb question, but are surgeons going to, at least in my mind, are surgeons going to wear that?
Yes, so this is the product. The product is inside the headset, but yes, the surgeon will be wearing the headset. So the MetaQuest is
one of the... Oh, no,
I'm
sorry. I know that the surgeon will be wearing the headset.
Oh, yes,
I'm saying, are surgeons, do you have a good sense, you probably have a much better sense than I do, but do you have a good sense that surgeons are saying, yes, I would be willing to wear the headset?
Yeah, that's why we have surgeons who have been interested in innovation in this area to help us design this product. So our product is ultimately designed based on customer needs. And there are augmented reality technologies in the space that is just being tested for education purposes, et cetera.
But so there are augmented reality. So are there people operating using augmented reality already?
Yeah, so these headsets, for example, the Microsoft's HoloLens 2, which has been recently discontinued, is actually can be sterilized to be in an operating room environment. So sorry, excuse me.
Can you switch back, if you have that on, do you have to take it off if you just want to use
so the way
reality as opposed to augmented reality? I mean, can you switch between reality and
Yes, so
augmented?
this is why this is augmented reality, not virtual reality. So the video you saw, you can see that it was me, I was a patient, laying in the, on the surface.
Right.
So first of all, it's already a see-through, but we have features that can toggle on and off. Whatever features that, it's highly customizable based on the surgeon's demand.
So when you toggle it off,
It'll be
it doesn't interfere with your sight to be able to look at your
You can
knee.
see through the headset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I'm like Chris. I have very, very little knowledge in the medical field. But so this is, I mean, what we hear about now is robotic surgeries, right?
Yes.
And so this is different because the human is still doing the surgery.
Exactly.
And is there a reason why you wouldn't do robotic on this particular surgery versus this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So compared to robotics is almost a near direct competitor. So a big problem with that currently is it has a very high upfront cost, and it takes a lot of footprint in the really cramped, having been in operating rooms myself. And that really limits the adoption of robotics. You don't see robotics everywhere, really. So our value proposition is a cost-effective alternative to that. It's just a headset. You really don't need anything else. And like I said, it's a really flexible subscription model. And depending on the hospital or the clinic, the ASC's needs, we can adjust. And I'll just add to that, a lot of the robotic devices have additional hardware to help register the patient. So you put additional trackers that, again, every time you introduce hardware to the surgical field, it's a biocompatibility risk. So we're really limiting any introduction of external hardware to the operating environment.
What's your greatest challenge on this product?
For this company, I think the greatest challenge is getting to be up here. Really, I started this during my MBA year, the dual degree. It's hard to keep going even with the medical school, but I'm very honored to be here. Thank you.
Keep going, George.
All right, now we have another giveaway. Now, who likes the Mystics in here? Woo! Woo! All right, and our winner for the Mystics tickets is Kendall Beal. Are you here? Awesome. All right, we will give them to you once the event is over. We also have another giveaway. One of the Mystics' best players, Shakira Austin, a signed jersey. And that is going to Martina Nuneva. We'll give it to you after the event. All right, and for our 7th pitch of the night, Serenity Robotic Lawn Care.
During the pandemic, I got really fed up with all the noise from gasoline lawn equipment in my neighborhood, and as you can see, the equipment's pretty annoying. The equipment also harms the environment and exposes landscapers to harmful carcinogens like benzene and formaldehyde. After spending over a decade working for members of the New York State Assembly and as a landscaper, I knew that there were state and national advocacy groups dedicated to banning gas lawn equipment. My experience as a landscaper taught me that I could combine my two areas of expertise to create a free market solution to reduce the noise, reduce the pollution, and disrupt this $300 billion industry with Serenity. Serenity is a modern lawn care company. We use AI to automate the price estimation process so customers can sign up instantly and easily on our website. Once signed up, we set up a robot at our customers' houses that, like a Roomba for their lawn, goes back and forth and autonomously mows the lawn. We know this business model is feasible because we've done nearly $250,000 in sales so far. We're cash flow positive and we're profitable. We actually could have done more in sales this year, but we had to put $50,000 worth of sales onto a wait list because we just didn't have enough robots. We have so many customers, even though we're not doing any paid advertising, because our customers are going out, posting on community Facebook groups about us. They're handing out flyers for us. One customer saw us talking to their neighbor, so she ran out in her bathrobe, waving her credit card, and said, if you sign up with Serenity, I'll pay you for your first month. It's on me. And that's why we hope to win the $30,000 tonight. Because we have this massive wait list. We have customers paying for their neighbors to sign up, but we won't be able to start servicing those customers this year unless we win the $30,000 tonight. The $30,000 would allow us to purchase 43 additional robots like the one you see here. That would increase our capacity to $120,000, bring our total capacity for 2025 up to $250,000. Our customers are going out and fighting for us, so we want to make sure that we're fighting for them by standing up for Georgetown's core values. We're fighting for the core value of lifelong learning because we've spent countless hours this year at town halls and churches educating the community about how switching to electric equipment can actually save landscapers thousands of dollars a year. We've also donated our labor to community farms that provide environmental education programs. But most importantly, we're fighting for justice. For 17 years, our town struggled to pass legislation that would reduce the pollution and noise from gas lawn equipment. All that time, landscapers were getting sick and suffering in silence. Thanks to my political experience and our platform, we got that ban passed. And now, with your help, we're going to take our education, innovation, and legislation across the nation, delivering less noise, less pollution, and a lot more serenity. Thank you.
Do you have competitors in this space? I feel like I've seen robotic lawnmowers before, or is this, or maybe I saw yours.
It's quite possible you see one of our mowers, but the key thing is that it's not the mower necessarily that is the core of our business. That's just a tool. At our core, we are a lawn care company. The key differentiator between us and our competitors is that we're good at building trust with our customers. That's something that money can't fix. How do we do that? It's through the advocacy that we've done. All the work that we do getting that legislation passed, fighting for landscapers, working with the community, it lets them know that we're really genuine about doing what's best for our customers and best for the community. And that's really important because, as you might imagine, a lot of people are very skeptical when they see the robot because it's not clear what it does. It's not clear how it works. A lot of customers don't really think that it's going to be able to do a good job and take care of their property. And so if another company just says, hey, trust us, this robot works, people are skeptical and they have a million questions and they might not even sign up. With us, they know the brand, they know our company, they know what we're about. So when we tell them this is the future, this is the way we combat pollution and noise, they trust us and they sign up.
So are you selling these to lawn companies, or are you going direct to the consumer, if you will, then?
We're going to direct to consumer. We are the lawn care service provider. And I think that's really important because, again, that's where manufacturers a lot of times struggle with the robots, is there are some companies that have been making robots for nearly 2 decades, and they can't get the robots to sell because, again, people don't trust that the robot actually works. But they know that when they sign up with us, we have our landscapers who will set up and maintain the robot, and we still come every other week to trim, edge, and do all the things the robot can't. And so that's the key differentiator as well, is that they know that it's not just they're getting stuck with a science fair project that's going to sit in their lawn and not work. They know we're going to be there, and we're going to take care of their lawns and make sure that the robot's working.
So you said energy. You said the energy source is electricity, so it's a chargeable battery. I would assume. And do you have any environmental issues with disposal of the batteries at
So-
the end of the life cycle?
So right now we set them up to charge at the customer's house. So we use the customer's electricity and set up a base station that the mower autonomously parks itself and charges from. So that's where it gets electricity from. For the batteries, right now they last roughly 10 years each. That's longer than you get from batteries out of traditional electric lawn equipment. So even compared to companies that might just use electric equipment, you're getting a much longer lifespan out of it because it's optimizing the charging when it sits, as opposed to traditional batteries, which just charge and get a full charge cycle and then get fully depleted and then charge up again. The other benefit to it is that when the batteries are done, we recycle them. We take them to our cycling facility, and then we take the money and we reinvest that in the company.
What is your pricing model, and how does it compare to traditional regular lawn care?
Yeah, so for a customer to sign up, we charge roughly $125 per robot to install them. Most customers need roughly 2 robots, but it really depends on the size of the property. So they pay for the installation. We charge less for the installation just to get the customer to sign up, but then they're paying a weekly subscription fee. And that covers the cost of the robot being there. That also covers the cost of us coming to physically service the robot and do the trimming and edging. So those prices are generally 10 to 20% higher than a traditional lawn care company. And we think that is really reflective of the value that we're offering, because one of the things to remember is the robot is mowing the lawn multiple times a week. A traditional lawn care company comes once a week, they cut the grass, and during the peak growing season, it looks nice right away. 3 or 4 days later, it's overgrown. With this robot, it'll mow your lawn as many times as you want. So, and it'll keep your lawn the perfect height throughout the week. It'll also make sure that your lawn looks nice for the weekend. That's one of the other big pain points of a lot of our customers, is they complain, my lawn care company comes on Monday or Tuesday, my grass looks nice. By the weekend, when I'm out trying to enjoy it with my family, my lawn is overgrown again. But this is something that traditional lawn care companies just can't offer, but we can.
And how is that controlled? Is it an app? I mean, how would let's say I like my grass mowed every day.
Yeah, so there is an app that you can download to take control of it. It's up to our customers. Some of them either don't have smartphones or just are very clear to us. They're like, we don't want to deal with the app at all. We want you to take care of everything. Not a problem. We can take care of setting it up on our app, and we program it to go out as many times a week as we think is best for the lawn, and it autonomously does that. Or the customer can download the app themselves and create an account and connect to the robot.
Kevin, 2 questions. Where do the clippings go? And then what does scale look like for you? How do you scale this business?
Definitely. So the clippings stay on the grass and they're mulched up. And that's great for the grass because it works like a natural fertilizer. If people are spending money to put fertilizer into their lawn, bagging the clippings and taking it away is basically like taking all the money you just threw into your lawn and taking it and throwing it out, tossing it in the dump. So since this takes off a little bit at a time, it's actually a lot better for mulching than traditional mowers are. Growth for us is, the goal is by 2023 to max out capacity at our current location and get to 1.2 million in sales. I can break it down year by year if you'd like to talk about how we got to that number. But I think the key thing to know right now is that we're just trying to take our time, max out capacity at our first location so we can put together a solid blueprint on how to own and operate one location. Once we do that, we can start franchising and also using our free cash flow to operate our own other locations. And we've seen with 1-800-GOT-JUNK the power that can have. They also followed a similar model. They took almost 10 years just to get to $1 million. After that, from 1997 to 2007, the next 10 years, they took the company from 1 million to 100 million by franchising. And so that's our goal as well.
And one of our partners in the sports teams, when I first met him, I said, what do you do? He said, I mow lawns.
Oh, yeah.
And he sold his company for $1.6 billion in cash to, right? To a private equity fund, Scott Brickman. And we've made a big investment in carbon robotics, which is laser-driven AI just to kill weeds in big areas. So you're in a big area, big business, but buying this stuff, like who makes it? Why won't someone else be able to buy it? Being in the hardware business and then licensing it is a tough model. So tell me about the relationship and who built it.
Yeah, so right now it's a company in Sweden called Husqvarna that manufactures the robots. And I think the key thing that really allows us to not be knocked off so easily and not have to worry about competition is that we have the go-to-market strategy where we focus on the legislation and advocacy. And that's what allows us to acquire customers for a lot quicker and a lot cheaper. That's how we get our customers to go out and pay for their neighbors to sign up or to knock on doors for us. And that's something that most companies aren't doing because it takes expertise in politics, something most landscapers don't have, something I happen to have. And it also takes a lot of time and effort, but I'm really committed to that cause. And so it doesn't matter how many hours it takes to reduce the pollution and the noise. I'm willing to throw the time and effort into that.
All right, if you are interested in entrepreneurship and healthcare, this is for you. Recognizing the urgent and growing need for this continued innovation within the health and wellness space, Georgetown Entrepreneurship launched a new pilot initiative to partner with leaders across the university and our community to provide more targeted entrepreneurial support to enable our students, alumni, faculty, and staff to embark on and be successful in furthering these ideas. Through healthcare entrepreneurship and innovation, you'll be able to attend healthcare-related events with experienced speakers, network with students and alumni, love that, get access to biotechnology and medical device startups, and understand the role of technology transfer and research. All right, for our 8th and our final pitch, we have Hydron.
Good evening. Water is the lifeblood of our communities. But as we face the challenges of droughts, growing resource competition, and natural disasters, every drop counts. Hi, I'm Shane.
And I'm Khan, and together we're HydroCon, two Army veterans that are driven by the Jesuit principle of magis, meaning to strive for more. We're committed to our communities, and we are ready to revolutionize how bulk water is managed in the United States. Since 2000, freshwater availability has declined by 25%. It's now more important than ever that we solve this issue and save our freshwater.
Judges, bulk water management today stinks. In failing to accurately capture bulk water data analytics, local municipalities are losing time, transparency, and money, failing their constituents in the process.
Yes, and at HydroCon, we automate the bulk water sales process while also providing analytics so leaders can make data-driven decisions.
With our solution, governments can simply do more. They can identify problems more quickly. They can forecast consumption more accurately. And they can govern more effectively.
Right now, we are partnered with Mid-Ohio Water and Sewer, and we're rolling out our pilot program. We're tailoring our solutions to each local municipality because no two problems are the same. Additionally, we'll roll out several other pilot programs and continuously work on this issue.
Moving forward, HydroCon intends to partner with a bulk water pump manufacturer to deliver our data analytics in real time. Additionally, we see value in transitioning from a B2G to a B2B business model as we understand the desire for efficiency is not limited to government.
Our competitors are focused on oil, gasoline, and other material products, while our sole focus is on water. We provide tailored solutions exclusively for water, and it's what sets us apart.
Judges, we're building an awesome team, and we're doing it all through Georgetown. In addition to Khan and I on stage, we plan on bringing on Marvin and Zoe to fulfill important technology and marketing roles.
We asked $30,000 to continue funding our pilot programs, R&D, and also marketing.
Khan and I have an actionable plan for the rest of the fiscal year that will result in the launch of our paid subscription service this fall.
Judges, if you want to help us tackle this issue that's been overlooked in America for far too long, join us and we can build a more sustainable future. Thank you very much.
So when you make the pivot from government to So Nestle's up there. So Nestle's headquartered right across the street. So you're going to go to them, and what problem are they solving, and why are they going to work with you?
Yeah, so essentially it's the problem that we believe in. We believe that it's going to persist 10, 20, 30 years from now. The problem's not going away. And the way that bulk water is managed in government and in corporate America, it's a passive process. So we're identifying problems after they've been created, and after you see the leak or after you see the bill that's too big, then you understand there's a problem. Basically, we're trying to close that feedback loop, and we see that value can benefit government and businesses, any businesses that deal with essentially flowing water.
And who at Nestle's are you going to talk to? Who's sitting there saying, I have budget, I have a problem, oh, thank you, HydroCon, I want to buy one of those?
Yeah, so that is really to speak to the companies in corporate America that could see value in bulk water data analytics. Not necessarily that we've talked to Nestle yet, but any company that deals with bulk water flowing to make their products. Nestle was just the company that we went with.
When you look at bulk water, what's the greatest challenge that we're facing as a country, municipalities? I mean, what is the number one problem you're looking to solve? Is that just the leaks that you talked about? Is it proper water management? Is it knowing what a municipality needs through a fiscal year? What is it?
Yeah, so it's a multifaceted problem, and obviously, depending on where you are at in the United States, it's going to look different. Just highlighting, most recently the fires in California, which was such a travesty. I'm sorry for anyone in the audience that was affected. Obviously, through HydroCon and some simple forecasting, we could have, obviously maybe prevented some of the devastation. Certainly, forecasting the reservoir, how much water we need on hand for a natural disaster. I mean, that's certainly one solution that we come to the table with. And then others are just inefficiency in small to mid-sized local municipality governments that haven't adopted, the latest technology. They have someone hourly, checking a manual sheet that was up there on the presentation, and unfortunately, the transparency and the constituents aren't being served as well as they should be. Our solution would free up that manpower and time, saving them money. So it's a multifaceted problem, and we have solutions for other things.
You said that you were working with some water and sewer in mid-Ohio. What's been your greatest learning so far from that?
So I think what we've learned a lot about this problem is, one, that every organization has a different solution to solving this problem. What we value most about our partnership with Mid-Ohio, and I think it's kind of our competitive advantage in the industry, is that we didn't make a product and then tried to sell it to them. We understood that a problem existed, and we went to them just as two motivated college students and said, hey, what problem can we help you solve? What do you want the solution to look like? And so that's a continuing feedback loop that persists to this day, and that's what gives us a lot of confidence in the solution that we have. We know that our product brings value to our customers because they specifically asked for it. And so really understanding the different problems that different municipalities are facing and understanding like the depth of this problem at scale has been really eye-opening, and we've learned a lot so far.
Can you help us understand your core IP that prevents someone else from copying you and doing this themselves?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So really, we do not have any IP on the software as it exists right now. I would kind of go back to the other answer that our competitive advantage is that we are almost like pseudo consultants to local municipalities that are trying to address this problem, and we are building tailored solutions that apply to them that don't necessarily apply to the town over from them. So we don't necessarily see a need for IP in that we're solving such a niche issue for local municipalities all across the country.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
All right, that concludes all of our pitches tonight. Let's give it up for all the finalists. Okay, now here's where you guys all become involved again. So it's your chance to vote on who you thought was the best company based on the 4 judging criteria. Remember, feasibility, team, values, and impact. So text this number and text a number on the screen. Do not text the number. Do not text the name of the company. Text the number. Sorry, that was a little confusing. And for those who are on the live stream, you're welcome to participate. You're welcome to text your friends. You guys voting will give one of the finalists $5,000 or more in cash. So help them out. All right. Now I'd like to take the time to reintroduce the person responsible for tonight. It is my honor to reintroduce our distinguished judge and benefactor for this exciting pitch competition, Ted Leonsis. He is a nationally recognized entrepreneur, investor, philanthropist, and sports team owner, Stanley Cup winner, award-winning filmmaker, and perhaps most importantly, an inspiring mentor. Ted loves Georgetown, he loves BarkTank, and he loves helping entrepreneurs chase after their dreams. And personally, he is responsible for giving me and Superhero a second home in the Venture Lab. Ted's personal mission is to leave it better than he found it, and I think we can all say tonight he has done that and he is doing that. Ted?
Thank you. Hi. So I'm very embarrassed because I make a big deal out of starting my first company on the campus of Georgetown University during the bicentennial. And I had a rich roommate, I was a really poor kid, and I read an article that said 35 million people will be coming to Washington, D.C. To celebrate the bicentennial. And I looked at my roommate and said, there's got to be something we can sell to these people. And he said, you come up with the idea, you do the work, I'll have my dad venture capitalist, we'll split it 50-50. And so I started my first business, it was a snow cone vending business, red, white, and blue snow cones. Be a patriot, eat a snow cone. Now I see entrepreneurs sending lasers, bouncing. It's truly amazing, the level of sophistication and the change. The robots for lawn care, I also revel in the story of no one had gone to college in my family. And we moved from Brooklyn, New York to Lowell, Massachusetts. And I needed to make some money. And so I went to the library to find a skill. And I bought a book, which I wish I had known or done more research, I would have brought it, How to Mow Lawns. This is an honest to God, true story. I'd never mown a lawn, but I had a book. And I went knocking on people's doors, the rich people in our neighborhood that had lawns. No one would answer. The people that would answer, I'd say, I need to make some money over the summer. Can I mow your lawn? Have you ever mowed a lawn before? No. Do you have lawn care equipment? No. And one guy answered the door. Jim Shannon was his name. And I gave him my pitch. And he said, okay, I have lawn care equipment, knock yourself out. Mow my lawn. If you do a good job, I'll give you $25. And so I was looking at the manual, and I was the best lawnmower in the universe for that 2 hours. I was fastidious. And he was looking out the window, and when I finished, he thought it was cute, nice, and he said, come back, you can mow my lawn every week. And I did that through the entire summer. And at the end of the summer, he said, do you think you're going to go into college? And I said, not sure. And he said, I went to Georgetown. I'm on the board of Georgetown, and Georgetown could use a boy like you. Can't make it up, right? And only school I applied to, first time I ever stepped foot in Washington, D.C. was when I enrolled, New York Avenue bus stop. And so lawn mowing has a really, really important part of my career here at the school. What Jeff, what everyone has built here is really, really remarkable. And one thing that should be said is that big businesses shed people. The engine for our country, for innovation, the engine of our country for hiring people, for building communities is entrepreneurs. It's a social responsibility for our universities to really be driving that entrepreneurial spirit, because we're an entrepreneurial nation. We're a startup still as a country. And so what Georgetown has done, even though from 1789, I know when I started my first business, I was alone. There was no infrastructure. I started my first company raising some venture capital at 24 years old. I moved to Florida just because the company, IBM, was introducing the IBM PC down there. I moved back to Washington, D.C., and there was no infrastructure here. We started America Online in Northern Virginia, Tyson's Corner. Our law firm was from Boston. Our venture capital people were from San Francisco. There was no infrastructure. There was no celebration for entrepreneurs. And so what I wanted to do with the university was kind of inject that spirit into it. And this program, I'm so thrilled that the subscriptions that we've bought and we pay for in the lab really seem to be working. I know I got your video. I see pictures of people that we have invested in, and that's one thing I want to explain. This is a prize. The money that we give here is just a gift to the entrepreneurs. And I say I'll give $100,000 a year. It's $150,000 this year. But it's just a prize. It's just dollars to get someone started. I've been shocked at the people that take this money and build a company. And we were the first and the biggest investor in Sweet Green. You saw Shivani up there from Oxyware. Shivani, I'm surprised you're not up here pitching. Shivani, still to this day, had the best compelling pitch. She came up with an oxygen tank and said, oh, I died last month. And so I wanted to invent a product to make sure that I don't die again and that no one else who suffers from this would die. And the most unlikely of entrepreneur, I would say the most introverted and meek at the time presenter, now full-blooded killer. Full-blooded. And how much money have you raised so far? $6 million. Taken longer and harder because you didn't do what I said, but she's going to make it, because sometimes you bet the jockey and not the horse, and she has all the characteristics of a great entrepreneur. A couple of years ago, it's a nice Greek boy, Panos, and he pitched us on the first AI platform for food. RFK Jr. is now going in, is gonna, what did President Trump say, shake it up. They are so well positioned. He's laid up at the lab. He's built his company. He raised $2.5 million. He's going to raise a ton of money. It's going to be a really big company. So, to Jeff, to Paul Almeida, to everyone, it's really been, it's an incredible journey in how we're positioning the school. And, I just hope that people in the audience will support these entrepreneurs, support the school to keep pushing us. We had a fight to make entrepreneurship. What do people get? Students get a certificate. You can't major in it, a minor. Can't major in it yet. I don't know why, but you can get a minor degree, but that was a big move forward. I've given a bunch of money. I just gave $5 million to, help keep doing this, but we need more support. We need more people to continue this, because it truly is, the Lord's work. When we first started this, my patron growing up here was Father Durkin. And he used to talk about how Jesus was a businessman. Jesus was an entrepreneur. Jesus had a start, had an idea, had to go sell it, right? What do you think the word evangelist? Steve Jobs was an evangelist. So were the evangelists around Jesus. They were like taking the secret sauce and bringing it all over the world. And so it's the Lord's work. I'm really proud of everyone who participates in this. And the quality that we're seeing is fantastic. So Jeff, come on up. Let's give some money away.
All right. Thank you so much. Some of you may have noticed a little bit of an announcement there. Ted loved the pitches so much that he's upped the prize money from $100,000 to $150,000. So before I announce the winners, I want to thank our judges. Please join me in thanking this judging panel. Great questions. Great job keeping it going. Thanks to the coaches, many of whom are here in the first couple of rows. You guys, great job. To all of our finalists. And please join me in thanking our wonderful MC, Marina Paul. Good job. All right. And I should thank also the team that runs the show here is Ben and Jacob and Aveline and so many folks here on the staff at Georgetown Entrepreneurship. All right, so with that, I'm going to give out some big checks. First up, one of our finalists, a $5,000 winner, Clarifia. Come on up. All right, next up, another finalist with a $10,000 prize, Hydron. Next up, another $10,000 prize winner, Uclipse. All right. Technically, I believe we call this a tied third place with $20,000. Nara. Another third place, $20,000 to Serenity. There's our guy. All right. Serenity now. All right. Well, Kevin's coming on down. We'll give him a chance. There you go. All right. Nice work. Nice work. Congrats. Awesome. Awesome. He'll tell you. Make sure you pose for him. All right. Okay. Tie for second place. $25,000. Gateway. Another second place, $25,000, Provision Surgical. Way to go. Okay, guess what that leaves us with? We have our grand prize winner, who is also the People's Choice, which makes him officially our top dog at BarkTank, Hilda. Okay, with that, we are about to officially close out. We do have a reception. Where's our reception tonight? Fisher Colloquium on the 4th floor. We invite everyone to join us for the reception. You can meet the participants, judges, coaches, hang out, meet some new people, and celebrate what we've had here. I was so impressed with what you guys all did. I hope you're happy with taking home some cash. There's a gigantic ATM around the corner that you can take these to. I use that joke every year. So thanks again to the Leonsis family and everybody who made this event possible. I invite our coaches and our judges to join us for a photo. We're going to do photos. The event's officially closed. Please, if you want to talk to anybody up here, just wait until we finish the big group photo. All right. Ralph, tell us where you want us here. Everybody with a big check, stand here on the carpet. Stand it, move up in front of me. Our judges, come on up. Coaches, come on up. All right, you guys jump on up to the front here.